Hello, welcome to Krita. Notice I'm on layer 1. Layer 2 is the background. It is normally locked. Click it to unlock it and remove it. We now have a transparent background. Using the circle tool, I made a circle. Depends on which tool you use, the stroke, and how it looks. Adding a duplicate keyframe. And I'm going to add a light glisten to this. At the top, make sure preserve alpha is on, otherwise you'll draw over your image. And I'm just quickly making an animation by clicking on the next keyframe, modifying it, clicking on the next keyframe, modifying the image, etc. I clicked on the second part of my color picker and I selected the initial color I had to basically be an eraser because it works the same way. So my secondary color is now the primary color that I was using, and the primary color is the shiny part per se. And I'm going to accelerate this process until I get to the text. Okay, this is where I tell you about math and how 1 frame a second would make it 9 seconds long because there's 9 frames. So I made it 3 frames per second to make it about 3 seconds long. That was just my half-second math skills that I didn't want to use. But yeah, it's it's an animation. I'm going to add text over top by making sure there's a new layer, selecting the text, making sure it's the settings that you want. Align it where you'd like. Now what I'm going to do is, very unknowingly and how it works specifically quite yet, adding opacity keyframes. I have it set in the hotkeys. If you go to animation, there's an add opacity keyframe. I set that to Q, so I was able to add a keyframe on keyframe 1 with opacity being 0. Verify that you pressed it. Then in the middle, or rather at the end, I'm going to make the opacity full. And then it does this kind of like appear and disappear thing. But I wanted something like a fade. So I went in between and I added a 50 opacity. But when I did that and clicked opacity, it went to 75. So I corrected it back to 50 and clicked opacity keyframe again. So the way I think it works is you have to add the opacity keyframe before changing the opacity. Okay? So it started doing a fade, the fade in, and it looked kind of nice. So I wanted to move the keyframes around to make sure that it started at the right time and ended at the right time. So by clicking and dragging the opacity keyframe, making sure that that one's 0. Now it has like a perfect fade in. This is where I was unsure about layers and how they worked in regards to animation, because previously you're not allowed to, or I found out you're not allowed to use the transform modifier easily with text, because it's on a vector layer. You have to convert it to a paint layer before you modify it, but that makes you have to have every keyframe that you're using in an animation be on a different layer, and have it only have one keyframe on each layer, basically appearing and disappearing. It's kind of silly. But yeah. This is the animation. There's transparent in the background. So all you have to do to export is click File and go to Render Animation. If you want to do the complicated way, you'll use Blender and render as image sequence and use the same resolution, but that's the complicated way. It also works. Otherwise, click on Video. You have to install something called FFmpeg. When you do, you just find the folder that you had it in. It's not really installing, you just get a folder. Put it somewhere near Krita so you know, and then you click the little folder icon and look for ffmpeg.exe. Click on it and click Open. Make sure you select Render as GIF. Save it where you'd like, name it what you'd like. It's as easy as that. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something. I had to go making it. This was added after because I had terrible audio previously and I messed up and let's just not talk about it. Anyways, here's what the GIF looks like. And yeah, it's just that easy. FFmpeg is free and just Google it. It's that simple. That's all for now.